Good evening. Oil and gas operators on the western edge of the Gulf are evacuating platforms and rigs as Alex takes aim.
However, drilling rigs and containment ships involved in the spill response are not affected by the evacuation. More on that later. First, let's check in with meteorologist Bob Breck. Bob?
Well, Lee, we're waiting for this next advisory because I do believe they're going to upgrade it to a hurricane, and there's a couple of reasons for it. Let me show you the wider satellite view, and it certainly has a well-defined circulation here. You see the spinning motion, and we're so far removed from it, way up here. Every now and then we'll get a moisture band coming on in, but I really expect as this thing moves farther to the west tomorrow, that hopefully will start cutting off this source of moisture coming into us, although we have a front coming that's going to enhance our rain chances again tomorrow. But boy, you look at the satellite view tonight and you don't see an eye showing up yet, but it sure looks like this thing has gotten better organized. Now, when I go to the colorized version, there is this big kind of ball right around the center. And the thing that you then look for, if you can't see an eye form on satellite pictures, what you do look for is what the reconnaissance aircraft is finding. Now, notice up here it says 7 p.m. These were the coordinates at 7 p.m. And that's a distinct change from what we were showing you at 4 p.m. because it didn't move any farther north at all. It went straight west. So it's gone more west and no north. The winds were 70 then, and you see this pressure 980? The pressure from a recon aircraft that's flying in there is now down to 973. That is a huge drop. That's a huge drop. So I would suspect that we're going to see this thing, say, upgraded to a hurricane on the next advisory. The winds about the same. They were 13 earlier, now down to 12, but I would really not expect a whole lot of change in their track, although you see the way it's moved straight west here, it looks like it may take this southern track down here instead of the one up here. Probably when they come out with their new track, they're going to kind of put it somewhere in between because they don't like to make these radical shifts at all. Now, the warnings from the Hurricane Center are along the Texas coast, and this is a little different. Our graphic system this year can show you where the hurricane warnings, we kind of put up these flags to let you see where the warnings are. Hurricane warnings down here, tropical storm warnings up here. Certainly do not include Louisiana, but the effects of this storm system sure do affect Louisiana. Look at the wave heights tonight, 22 feet. Woo! Boy, it is rocking and rolling out there, and even off the Louisiana coast, we've got seas of 5, 6, 7, 8 feet. No wonder they've had to, curtail all of the, not so much drilling, but the cleanup is what I'm looking for. They haven't been able to do much of that. These are the winds, the buoy winds tonight. You can see they're pretty strong along the coast, but they're much less up around us. And we still do have the Weather Service has this coastal flood watch, but earlier the winds were from the southeast. They've gone more easterly now, and those east winds should help those areas west of the river. Doesn't help the ones east of the river a whole lot. Now, we do have a quick look at Viper radar here, and it'll show you we do have some showers around tonight. We're running out of time, but I got a graphic that I got to get on here. We'll quick zoom into our focus right around the city because we got a little surge of rain coming up, but you see the counter here is 0. No lightning with any of this at all. Now, over at Keesler, earlier this evening, you know what happened, gang? Well, we had a recon flight take off from Keesler, and it took off. Here we go. Are you ready? Your seatbelts on? There it goes. This is what we can show you. Notice you can even get the altitude of the flight as it's going on out. You can track it all the way out there. And as it gets higher up in the clouds, as we move and progress on, here we go. We're about ready to head south towards the storm. This is kind of the actual flight path that it takes down. And once it gets down there, it makes this what's called an alpha pattern. It's actually an X shape. So, and it gives what they're finding down there. And what they're finding is much lower pressure, and typically when they get lower pressure, they know that the winds follow too. Another guideline was you saw that 20-foot wave height. That wave height is getting higher, meaning the winds have got to be stronger. So I think we have Hurricane Alex on the next advisory, but again, it's going away from Louisiana. They've got to count our blessings tonight. I'm sure we'll have other opportunities to deal with weather tonight. We kind of feel for the folks along the lower Texas coast, although it looks like it may be more of a Mexican problem than a U.S. problem.